The arrival. The day the Zarkon ships appeared in Earth's skies was meant to be ordinary. For 12-year-old Lily Chen, it started with the usual rush to school, her backpack bouncing against her spine as she raced down the crowded streets of New Beijing. The first sign that something was amiss came when her teacher's holopad suddenly flickered to life, projecting an emergency broadcast that silenced the classroom chatter. "Citizens of Earth," the stern-faced news anchor announced, her voice trembling slightly, "we interrupt your day to bring you breaking news. Multiple unidentified objects have entered our atmosphere and are currently hovering over major cities worldwide. The United Earth government urges everyone to remain calm and stay indoors until further notice." Lily's heart raced as she peered out the classroom window. There, looming above the city's skyline, was a massive, shimmering vessel that seemed to defy the laws of physics. Its surface rippled like liquid metal, reflecting the sun's rays in a dazzling display that both terrified and mesmerized her. As panic began to spread through the school, Lily's teacher, Ms. Zhang, did her best to maintain order. "Children, please remain in your seats. I'm sure the authorities will handle this situation." But even Ms. Zhang's usually steady voice wavered with uncertainty. Hours passed, and the world held its breath. Social media exploded with theories, from doomsday predictions to hopeful speculations about benevolent alien visitors. Lily's parents, both scientists at the nearby quantum research facility, were called in to assist with the government's response. She found herself alone at home, glued to the holoscreen, watching history unfold. It was nearing midnight when the Zarkon finally made their move. In a synchronized action across the globe, beams of soft, blue light extended from the ships, touching down in the centers of Earth's most populous cities. From these beams emerged tall, elegant beings with iridescent skin and eyes that seemed to hold the depth of the cosmos. The alien that appeared in New Beijing's central square stood at least 8 feet tall. Its body was lean and graceful, covered in scales that shifted colors like an oil slick in sunlight. 4 arms extended from its torso, each ending in long, delicate fingers. But it was the being's face that captured humanity's attention, a visage of ethereal beauty, with large, almond-shaped eyes that glowed with an inner light. "People of Earth," the alien's voice resonated not through the air, but directly in the minds of all who could hear. "We are the Zarkon. We come in peace, seeking to share our knowledge and elevate your species to new heights of understanding and capability." The world watched, transfixed, as similar scenes played out globally. The Zarkon spoke of advanced technologies, cures for diseases, and the secrets of interstellar travel. They'd promised an end to war, hunger, and environmental destruction. It seemed too good to be true, a savior race appearing just when humanity needed it most. In the days that followed, Earth's government scrambled to establish protocols for interaction with the Zarkon. The aliens were invited to address the United Nations, where they further elaborated on their benevolent intentions. They spoke of a galactic community that Earth could join, painting a picture of a utopian future that left world leaders starry-eyed and eager to cooperate. Lily, like many of her peers, was fascinated by the aliens. Schools quickly incorporated lessons about Zarkon history and culture into their curricula. Children dreamed of becoming ambassadors to distant worlds or piloting starships through the cosmos. The promise of a brighter future seemed within reach, and humanity embraced it with open arms. But not everyone was convinced. Lily's parents, along with a small group of scientists and critical thinkers, urged caution. They questioned the Zarkon's motives, wondering why such an advanced civilization would take interest in a relatively primitive species like humans. Their concerns were dismissed as paranoia, drowned out by the overwhelming wave of hope and excitement that swept across the globe. As weeks turned into months, the Zarkon began sharing some of their technology. They introduced medical devices that could diagnose and treat diseases with unprecedented accuracy. They unveiled energy sources that promised to end humanity's dependence on fossil fuels. And they hinted at cognitive enhancements that could unlock the full potential of the human mind. Lily found herself at the center of this new world. Her parents' involvement in the scientific community meant she often overheard discussions about the latest Zarkon revelations. She absorbed information like a sponge, her young mind racing with possibilities. But she also noticed the worried looks her parents exchanged when they thought she wasn't watching, the hushed conversations that stopped abruptly when she entered the room. One evening, as Lily was preparing for bed, she overheard her father speaking in urgent tones over a secure comlink. "We can't ignore the data any longer," he insisted. "The genetic samples we've analyzed show clear signs of manipulation. Whatever the Zarkon are, they're not being entirely truthful about their origins or intentions." Lily's mother's voice joined in, equally concerned. "We need to present our findings to the council, but we have to be careful. The Zarkon have eyes and ears everywhere now." A chill ran down Lily's spine. She had always trusted her parents' judgment, and if they were worried, then perhaps the wonderful future promised by the aliens wasn't as certain as everyone believed. As she lay in bed that night, staring at the ceiling where she had projected a holographic map of the stars, Lily couldn't shake the feeling that something momentous was about to happen. The Zarkon ships still hovered in the sky, visible even now as points of light brighter than any star. They had brought so much hope, so much promise. But if her parents were right, if there was more to the aliens than met the eye, what did that mean for Earth? For humanity? Lily closed her eyes, her young mind grappling with questions far beyond her years. She didn't know it yet, but she was about to become a central figure in humanity's greatest challenge. The arrival of the Zarkon was just the beginning. The true test, for Lily, for her family, and for all of humankind, was yet to come. As sleep finally claimed her, Lily's dreams were filled with visions of stars, strange worlds, and the enigmatic faces of the Zarkon. In those dreams, a power stirred deep within her, a spark of something extraordinary that would soon change the course of history. The galaxy was watching, and humanity's moment of truth was approaching faster than anyone could have imagined. The mockery. 6 months after the Zarkon's arrival, Earth had transformed. Gleaming spires of alien architecture pierced the skies of every major city, their iridescent surfaces a constant reminder of humanity's new cosmic benefactors. In New Beijing, Lily Chen walked to school under the shadow of these towering structures, her mind buzzing with excitement and trepidation. Today was special. The Zarkon had announced a worldwide address to all educational institutions. Rumors swirled that they would be revealing a new program to enhance human learning capabilities. As Lily entered her classroom, she could feel the anticipation in the air. Ms. Zhang stood at the front, her usually stern expression softened by a hint of wonder. "Children, take your seats quickly. The transmission will begin soon." The holoscreen flickered to life, revealing the familiar face, if it could be called that, of Zarvex, the alien spokesperson who had become a household name across the globe. His shimmering, multifaceted eyes seemed to look directly at each student. Young minds of Earth, Zarvex's telepathic voice resonated in their heads. "Today marks a new chapter in our shared journey. We have observed your species' thirst for knowledge, your potential for greatness. It is time to nurture that potential." Lily leaned forward, captivated. But as Zarvex continued, she felt a growing unease. "We have developed a program to accelerate human cognitive development," the alien announced. "Selected students will undergo a series of enhancements, elevating their minds to new heights of understanding." Excitement rippled through the classroom, but Lily remembered her parents' worried conversations. Something about genetic manipulation. She raised her hand, surprising even herself with her boldness. "Yes, young one." Zarvex's attention focused on her, and Lily felt the weight of that alien gaze. "Sir," she began, her voice trembling slightly, "how do these enhancements work? Are they safe?" For a moment, Lily thought she saw something flicker across Zarvex's features: amusement, disdain. But it was gone so quickly she couldn't be sure. "An inquisitive mind," Zarvex replied, his tone indulgent. The process is perfectly safe, I assure you. But perhaps such complex matters are beyond the grasp of less developed intellects. The dismissal in his voice was clear, and Lily felt her cheeks burn with embarrassment. Around her, classmates snickered, and even Ms. Zhang looked disappointed at her interruption. Now, Zarvex continued, let us proceed with the selection process. What followed was a series of rapid-fire questions and puzzles projected into the minds of students worldwide. Lily, still stinging from the earlier rebuke, found herself struggling to keep up. The questions seemed to shift and change as she considered them, always one step ahead of her understanding. As the test concluded, Zarvex's expression was one of polite disappointment. It seems, he announced, that human potential is not as vast as we had hoped. But do not be discouraged. With our guidance, you may yet prove worthy of joining galactic civilization. In time. The transmission ended, leaving a stunned silence in its wake. Lily's classmates looked shell-shocked, their earlier excitement replaced by confusion and shame. In the days that followed, the impact of the Zarkon's assessment became clear. Human confidence, once bolstered by the aliens' arrival, began to crumble. Adults whispered about feeling intellectually inferior, while children like Lily faced mockery from the very beings they had idolized. Lily's parents, Dr. Chen and Dr. Liu, watched these developments with growing alarm. It's a classic tactic, Dr. Chen muttered one evening, poring over data on his holopad. Break down their self-esteem, make them dependent on your guidance. But why? Lily asked, startling her parents who hadn't realized she was listening. Why would they want to hurt us? Dr. Liu knelt beside her daughter, her eyes filled with concern. We don't know for certain, sweetheart, but throughout history, those who seek to control others often begin by making them doubt themselves. As weeks passed, the Zarkon's behavior grew more openly condescending. They spoke of humans as quaint, primitive beings, barely able to grasp the simplest concepts of advanced science. Public demonstrations of alien technology became exhibitions of human inadequacy, with volunteers left humiliated by their inability to operate even basic Zarkon devices. Lily, once eager to learn about the aliens, now dreaded encounters with them. Each interaction seemed designed to remind humans of their limitations, but something was stirring within her, a spark of defiance, a refusal to accept the Zarkon's judgment. One afternoon, as Lily walked home from school, she encountered a group of younger children huddled in an alley, tears streaming down their faces. A Zarkon stood over them, its luminescent eyes gleaming with what could only be described as cruel amusement. Come now, little ones, the alien's voice dripped with false sympathy. Surely you can solve this simple puzzle, or are human offspring truly as dull-witted as they appear? Before she could stop herself, Lily stepped forward. Leave them alone, she shouted, her voice cracking with emotion. The Zarkon turned, fixing her with a gaze that seemed to pierce her very soul. Ah, another volunteer. Perhaps you'd like to attempt the puzzle? Or would you prefer to demonstrate your species' talent for emotional outbursts? Lily felt a rush of heat in her cheeks, but she stood her ground. We may not be as advanced as you, but that doesn't give you the right to treat us like this. We have value. We have potential. For a moment, the alien's composure slipped, revealing a flash of something dark and angry beneath its serene exterior. Then, quicker than Lily could react, a tendril of energy lashed out from the Zarkon's hand, striking her squarely in the chest. Pain exploded through Lily's body, and she fell to her knees, gasping. The world around her seemed to shimmer and distort. Through the haze of agony, she heard the alien speak, its voice now cold and threatening. Potential. Let me show you the true gulf between our kinds, child. As Lily's vision blurred, she felt something awaken deep within her. A warmth spread from her core, pushing back against the alien energy. In her mind, equations and concepts she'd never encountered before suddenly snapped into focus. The pain receded, replaced by a clarity of thought she'd never experienced. Slowly, Lily stood, her eyes now shimmering with an inner light that matched the Zarkon's own. The alien took a step back, confusion, and the first hints of fear crossing its features. "Impossible," it hissed. "You cannot." But Lily wasn't listening. With a gesture, she sent the alien stumbling backward, its psychic attack reversed. The younger children watched in awe as Lily stood tall, facing down the being that had tormented them. "We are not your playthings," Lily said, her voice resonating with newfound power. "And we are not as helpless as you think." The Zarkon retreated, vanishing in a flash of light. The alley fell silent, broken only by the astonished whispers of the children Lily had defended. As the adrenaline faded, Lily felt the strange power within her subside, leaving her drained but exhilarated. She knew, with absolute certainty, that everything had changed. The Zarkon's mockery had awakened something within her, something that could change the course of human history. With shaking hands, Lily reached for her communicator. She needed to talk to her parents. Whatever was happening to her, whatever this power was, she knew it was just the beginning. The real challenge, for her, for humanity, and for the Zarkon, was about to begin. As she hurried home, Lily couldn't shake the feeling that eyes were watching her, not just the Zarkon, but something older, vaster. In the depths of space, ancient powers stirred, awakened by the spark of potential in one small, determined human child. The galaxy held its breath, waiting to see what would happen next. The revelation. The streets of New Beijing lay in ruins, a testament to the fierce battle that had raged for days. Lily Chen, now 16, stood atop a crumbling skyscraper, her eyes fixed on the looming Zarkon mothership that hovered ominously above the city. 4 years had passed since her powers first manifested, and in that time, she had become a beacon of hope for humanity's resistance. Beside her stood her parents, Doris, Chen, and Liu, along with a diverse group of humans and alien allies they had gathered during their struggle. Each face showed a mixture of determination and fear as they prepared for the final confrontation. "Are you ready, Lily?" her father asked, placing a hand on her shoulder. Lily nodded, her eyes glowing with an inner light that had become all too familiar. "I've been ready for this my whole life, Dad." As if on cue, a beam of energy shot down from the Zarkon ship, materializing into the imposing form of Zarvex, the alien leader who had once mocked humanity's potential. His multifaceted eyes narrowed as he regarded Lily. "So the experiment comes full circle." Zarvex's voice boomed, both aloud and in their minds. "You've proven to be quite the inconvenience, young one." Lily stepped forward, her voice steady. "This ends now, Zarvex. We know the truth about your benevolence. You've been manipulating species across the galaxy, stunting their growth to maintain your dominance." Zarvex's laughter was cold and cruel. "And what if we have? The strong survive, child. The Zarkon have ruled this sector for millennia. What hope do you have of changing that?" As he spoke, more Zarkon materialized around them, cutting off any escape. Lily's allies raised their weapons, a mix of human ingenuity and alien technology, but they were hopelessly outnumbered. But Lily remained calm. She closed her eyes, reaching deep within herself to the well of power she had discovered and nurtured over the years. As she did, something extraordinary happened. A soft glow began to emanate from her body, growing in intensity until it enveloped the entire rooftop. Her allies gasped as they felt a surge of energy coursing through them, enhancing their own latent abilities. Zarvex took a step back, his composure slipping. "What is this? What are you doing?" Lily opened her eyes, which now shone like twin stars. When she spoke, her voice resonated with power. "You asked what hope we have. Let me show you." With a gesture, she sent the surrounding Zarkon flying backward. But this was no mere telekinetic push. As the aliens stumbled, their bodies began to shimmer and change. "You've suppressed the true potential of countless species," Lily declared, her voice carrying across the battlefield. But humanity's gift isn't just about individual power. It's about connection, about bringing out the best in others. All around them, the effects of Lily's power became clear. Humans found themselves moving with enhanced speed and strength. Alien allies discovered abilities they never knew they possessed. And the Zarkon, they were transforming. Gone were the towering, intimidating forms. In their place stood beings that looked almost childlike, their eyes wide with confusion and fear. "This is what you've been hiding," Lily continued, addressing not just Zarvex, but all those present. "The Zarkon were once like us, a young species with untapped potential. But somewhere along the way, you chose domination over growth. You've been using your technology to keep yourselves in a state of arrested development, all to maintain your grip on power." Zarvex, now diminished in stature, but still defiant, snarled, "You understand nothing. We brought order to chaos, stability to a turbulent galaxy." "At what cost?" Dr. Chen interjected, stepping forward to stand beside his daughter. "You've stifled the natural evolution of countless civilizations, including your own." Lily nodded, her glow subsiding slightly as she turned to address the transformed Zarkon. "But it's not too late. The power to grow, to evolve, it's still within you, within all of us." As she spoke, images flooded the minds of all present, visions of a galaxy teeming with diverse, advanced civilizations, each contributing their unique perspectives and abilities to a grand cosmic community. "This is what we could be," Lily said softly. "Not rulers and subjects, but partners in exploration and discovery." The battlefield fell silent as the weight of this revelation settled over them. The transformed Zarkon looked at each other, then at their hands, as if seeing themselves for the first time. One of them, a former general, stepped forward. We forgot. How did we forget?" Lily approached him, her expression gentle. "Fear. The fear of losing control, of facing the unknown. But that's what growth is all about. Embracing the uncertainty and becoming more than we were." As she spoke, the glow from her body began to spread, enveloping humans, aliens, and Zarkon alike. Where it touched, it left behind not just power, but understanding. Zarvex watched as his followers lowered their weapons, centuries of conditioning crumbling in the face of this new awareness. His own body shimmered, the layers of technological and genetic suppression falling away. "What have we done?" he whispered, his voice now devoid of its former arrogance. Lily approached him, holding out her hand. "What matters is what we do now. This is your chance, Zarvex. Your chance to remember who you were meant to be, and to help others do the same." For a moment, the fate of the galaxy hung in the balance. Then, slowly, Zarvex reached out and took Lily's hand. The effect was immediate and breathtaking. A wave of energy pulsed outward from their joined hands, racing across the planet and into space. Everywhere it touched, beings awakened to their true potential, freed from the shackles of Zarkon suppression. On the rooftop, humans and aliens alike found themselves laughing, crying, embracing as newfound abilities and understanding blossomed within them. The Zarkon mothership above shimmered and transformed, its weaponry morphing into instruments of exploration and discovery. As the sun began to rise over the battered but unbroken city, Lily stood with her parents and allies, watching as the dawn of a new era broke across the galaxy. "What happens now?" someone asked. Lily smiled, her eyes reflecting the limitless possibilities that lay before them. Now we grow, together." In the years that followed, the galaxy would indeed transform. The fall of the Zarkon regime gave rise to a new age of cooperation and advancement. Species that had been pitted against each other found common ground, pooling their unique perspectives and abilities to solve cosmic mysteries and push the boundaries of what was possible. And at the heart of it all was humanity, not as conquerors or saviors, but as catalysts. Their adaptability, their creativity, their capacity for growth in the face of adversity became a beacon for all sentient beings. Lily Chen, the girl who had once been mocked by aliens, became a symbol of this new era, but she was quick to remind everyone that the power she had awakened was not hers alone. It was the birthright of all thinking, feeling beings, the power to grow, to change, and to lift each other up. As starships set out to explore the farthest reaches of the universe, carrying crews made up of dozens of species, they took with them a simple message. In the vast, wild cosmos, it is not domination that makes us strong. It is our connections, our ability to adapt and grow together, that truly allows us to touch the stars. The girl who was once mocked had indeed shocked the galaxy. But more than that, she had reminded it of a truth as old as time itself, that the greatest power in the universe is the power of potential, waiting in every heart and mind to be awakened. And as the stars twinkled in the night sky, they seemed to shine just a little brighter, a cosmic applause for the species that had remembered how to grow.